I'm delighted that Club de Madrid has chosen Rotterdam for their first global forum on leadership for shared societies, building a world safe for difference.
Thank you very much, Mayor Opselten, not only for your kind words, but also for the hospitality that you and your city has shown to all of us from the Club de Madrid. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the first Global Forum on Leadership for Shared Societies. My name is Sean Carroll. I'm the Program Director at the Club of Madrid, and I'm going to be your MC over the next couple of days.
Hello, good morning to everyone, and welcome to this very interesting vanilla factory and to the Global Forum on Leadership for Shared Societies. We want to build the arguments for social cohesion and identity tools for shared societies, and then cry out to the world, literally cry out, that a world safe for difference is what we need, and that it is possible.
And in order to achieve it, they should have a policy, deliberate policy, for social cohesion. Nations are becoming more and more diverse, and today, most of the countries of the world, most of them have either one or more minority groups that constitute the population.
Because even though we gained an African-American president, we lost the only African-American in the Senate, which says that we're shifting leaders around as opposed to developing leaders in the process. But America is still a country that doesn't want to talk about race, that doesn't really want to talk about difference. This was a candidate who, in fact, won because he didn't talk that much about difference, about who he was as an African-American as much as who he was as an American. Obama was able to speak to the American people, making himself an American candidate.
Leadership in shared societies. And that is also the theme of tonight. They know that it's about our climate, that's about our future.
And I started to explain that maybe this word integration is confusing. It's a bit like assimilation. What we really need is participation.
47% of all people who have broadband connections to the internet don't read newspapers anymore. They read the newspapers online. And they write bloggings. And this is increasingly covering the whole world.
Our General Assembly took us half a day. And yours, I understand, will take you 5 days. This is the generation gap. You work hard and long. We work harder and less. That's it.
Of course, glad to be here with all of you, not only with our own General Assembly, but also with the Club of Madrid. Well, when preparing for this speech, I thought, okay, what are the points that unite us? And I think one of these uniting points are human rights. Are they really the foundation for freedom, justice, and peace? And even more so, and here I get on where Ruud Lubbers was speaking, the preamble of the Human Rights Declaration also talks about freedom of fears. And here, I very much agree with you. It's fears that nowadays separate people and are barriers between nations.
Welcome to the third plenary session on taking responsibility. I hope we're inspired from our work yesterday, and today we work towards a call for action.
We have rich buffet here of incredible talent from all sectors to address the morning plenary's topic of taking responsibility.
What call to action would you ask of them, and what particular action would you want them then to sign up to if they were in their work every day through their leadership of media contact helping contribute to a cohesive society?
The first practical advice is not something that we are doing, is the way we speak. And to speak is to act. And I think that we need political discourses.
I'm inspired by words of Mr. Ramadan, who said it's a national movement, but it's local action. If the action is not here, it will not be anywhere, because we should organize it. So we are very directly responsible also for the practical strategies to come closer to a shared society.
I live in New York, and from the time that I've been there, with a strong focus on Africa, I've been distressed by the harshness of language about those who come into the United States. Mm-hmm. And it's just 2 words: illegal alien.
I have been looking around in the world, of course, for many years, and I think that all of us should realize that differences are everywhere, in every society, on every level.
But we need also a shared world. And for a shared world, you need a multipolar world. You have to accept that we need a connection of civilizations with respect for other countries and other ways of life.
What do we as young people or those participants feel our responsibility is? And secondly, what are young people asking leaders for them to do in the process of building shared society? So.
This is the question. You Club Madrid, go out there. Let me tell you, here I was saying, the members of Club Madrid have been at this thing. They've seen where they go wrong, they've seen where they miss, they've seen where they do it.
First of all, because values, being ethical or religious or humanistic, they are an inspiration for many of us.
And that means that people begin to be cynical about the value of the words of the leaders and begin to look at their behavior, and they see very different things.
International organizations like the World Bank and the UN have actually done a very poor job of using their convening power. So the first test of leadership is to actually recognize that we have the authority to convene.
Because, of course, politicians have to show leadership. And how can we then, coming from stable societies, move into new societies where they want to create an identity and say, you have to make sure that you have a fair composition in your society when we don't do that in our own?
Together with cities like Madrid and the city of Rotterdam are so crucial. Act global, think local, think global.
I think that during these 2 days here in Rotterdam, we have been able, all of us, to reaffirm our commitment in how to promote leadership in order to reach social cohesion and share societies, understanding that this is probably one of the most pressing issues in today's world.
Think of two different kinds of social cohesion. One is that focuses on bonding within small segments or within small groups. And the other one is the kind of social cohesion that bridges the pre-existing segments in a society that had divided them for whatever reasons they may have been, or that bridges the possibility of better relations between those who have long lived in a particular country and those who have arrived as immigrants.
They talk with young leaders, including in plenary session today. And I found that young leaders, in some respect, is few steps ahead of many current leaders. They are thinking, they are acting, they are networking, like they already live in shared society.
We call on leaders to provide space for young people to be included in processes, activities and decision-making.
We call on all states to recognize the importance of social protection as a framing concept and developing strategies to build shared societies.
So my concrete question to one of you, preferably a member of the Club de Madrid, how can we spread what comes out of here today in a speech or something from leadership that will appeal throughout our society and everybody will say, yes, what the Club de Madrid is doing for us, I want to be part of that.
We are and we want to be, that's a top priority and a focus of the city of Rotterdam. We want to be Europe's leading intercultural city. That's the reason why the Club de Madrid is here, and that's important. For next year, as you certainly know, Rotterdam will be European capital, youth capital of Europe.
Thank you to all. We now move to the next part of our program.
On behalf of the Club de Madrid, I would like to thank President Bill Clinton for being here in the closing session today. Bill Clinton expressed that the way that his country, United States, should reach the world should be by the power of his example and not by the example of his power.
Thank you very much to President Lagos, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be back with the Club of Madrid. And I'm glad that you're discussing this topic. I think it's altogether appropriate that we're here in Rotterdam. And even now, in spite of all the problems of the world, there is a movement which this meeting represents to try to put the prospect of identity politics in the past and to put the problem and the opportunity of identity front and center. And I might just say, again, we owe a lot of thanks to the Dutch for coming to grips with this in a very profound way. It wasn't so very long ago that this country was riven by arguments over immigration, and now a Moroccan-born Arab Dutchman is the nominee to be the next mayor of Rotterdam. Because all of us carry in ourselves a little balance scale every day between harmony and discord. And every day we have to work to balance the scales. Countries and groups have psychologies as individuals do. Just as we try to help the world solve their problems and overcome it, those of us who think we have overcome it should never be so arrogant as to neglect our own responsibilities closer to home. We really have no other alternative. Nothing else makes sense, and nothing else will make us happy. Thank you very much.
Dear Mr. President, thank you very much for your very inspiring speech and your excellent performance today here in Rotterdam. And success because we have, for the first time, created a new form of structural cooperation, bringing all stakeholders together. And this is necessary not only for the ongoing transfer of knowledge, but more importantly, to make a change in attitudes. People have to realize that interaction between all different groups in society creates healthy closes of energy, excitements, and dynamism. And this is what makes our cities, our nations, and thus our world vivid, where we all feel at ease, at peace, and at home. Mr. President, Mr. Lagos, I sincerely want to thank you and all the other members of the Club de Madrid for coming to Rotterdam. I hope to see you again. Thank you so much.